when Dad needs to be a superhero. Once there was a singer called Sam, and Sam lived with her parents and her little brother and sister. Recently, her brother and sister had a really tricky time, and it had made them really hard work for Mum and Dad. They needed lots of Mum's time and attention. Now, it isn't easy being a starlet at a young age, and so it was really hard for Sam because Mum wasn't able to watch her singing as often. She wasn't able to spend as long talking with her when her audition went badly and she didn't get the part. Mum was so tired from helping with the little ones that she didn't notice things as well. Normally, she would know when someone had a tough day and know just what to do to help. Just now, she couldn't do that as much. It wasn't Sam's fault, and Mum still loved Sam just as much and wanted to help, but her tank was empty and she had very little to give. Sam hadn't really thought about why everything was so hard. After all, she didn't have Mum to think these things through with her at the moment. She just knew everything felt all wrong and she needed to do something. So Sam started doing the only thing she knew how to do. She started singing, loudly and annoyingly, in a way that no one could ignore. Deep inside, she was driven to connect with Mum again, to wake her up to Sam's presence and her needs. And every time she was around, she'd sing a loud note in Mum's ear. Then Mum would look at her and talk to her. The trouble was that Mum would also be cross and grumpy. But that was better than Mum being a bit flat and not noticing things. So she carried on, even though she didn't really like cross, grumpy Mum, and she felt a bit bad. She couldn't seem to stop, except when she was having a good day and could manage without too much noticing. What will the family do? Well, I'll tell you a secret. Before he got married, Dad was actually Mr. Fantastic, saving the world. He was secretly super strong. But he wasn't naturally very good at noticing what was going on for the children. It wasn't his superpower, although he definitely notices if they're singing super loud. But Mr. Fantastic, also known as Dad, realised how exhausted Mummy was and that he needed to dust off his superhero powers and come to the rescue. Mummy had to train him. It took a while and he was a bit slow at learning this new power at helping children. But he worked hard and he got better. Sam found his attempts a bit irritating at first. Let's face it, he wasn't Mum. Sometimes he'd just sing all the louder. Mum loved Sam so much and still wanted to be with her, so they came up with a plan for them to be close, even when Mum was completely exhausted. They'd snuggled together with Sam listening to music on her headphones and Mum listening to an audiobook. This wasn't as good as Mum being able to think everything through with Sam, but it was better than arguing with Mum, and it felt good for Sam to know she was still cared for. Little by little, Dad got better at noticing when Sam needed noticing, and understanding how hard it was for her that Mum was exhausted. And as Dad got better at this, Mum got more rests, and then Mum started to be less exhausted. Let's skip to the end. In time, Mum recovered. She felt better again and was back to being all that Sam needed. But now, whenever Mum had a bad day or a headache, Fantastic Dad to the rescue. The end.